Here's an interesting muscle building hack. At the end of your workout, do a deep static stretch of the target muscle. Hold it for 1 to 2 minutes. Very painful, but it actually triggers muscle growth.
Is there a name for this?
You know, that's a good question. I know that there's training methodologies that will use this technique. Like, you ever hear of DC training? DC stands for dog crap. You ever hear about this?
No.
I'm not making this up.
No.
That's what it stands for?
Swear to God.
So scientific.
There was this bodybuilder guy, I can't remember his name, and on a forum, he got real popular, and his forum name was dog crap. So they called it dog crap training.
This is the industry we're a part of, you guys.
I know.
That's why we're doing well.
That's not hard to dominate an industry when people call themselves dog crap. No,
I'll continue.
All joking aside, that's the one that I've known of. I know that bodybuilders in the past have incorporated this. I know Tom Platz would do this at the end of his workouts. Arnold often talked about deep stretching a pump muscle. Studies show that static stretching on its own will elicit a little bit of muscle growth. But after a workout, this is mostly anecdote, although there's some studies that show that this is actually true. You get a muscle really pumped, and then you do like a weighted stretch.
Yeah.
So a weighted static stretch.
Wasn't Ben Pekulski a fan
That's
of this?
so.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he's stretching.
Intra-stretch. So intra-set, right?
Oh, in between sets.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you if the science that supports that is the same science, or are they separate?
It's the same. Now, here's why, because you guys know this like I do. The reason why I wouldn't do intra-set stretching is because a static stretch tends to kind of shut off the CNS a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see how bodybuilders going light and just kind of getting a pump would be okay, but I don't want to.
Yeah, definitely not strength training.
Yeah, I'm not trying to dampen my CNS, but at the end of a workout, I don't care. I'm done. In which case, I think it might actually speed up recovery.
Well, I imagine if I recall, because I did go through this protocol with Ben, and I think it's intra-stretching at the end of like each muscle group.
Yes.
So like,
I see what you're saying.
yeah.
Oh.
So
So it's like you do all your sets, then you stretch and you move to another one.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, if I recall, that's how it's on. I could be wrong. I don't remember. I know we actually shot some YouTube videos where he came on and actually did it. But what I was curious about is if the science that you're both using is the same science to support the argument of why this is valuable.
Yeah. There's some interesting animal studies too, where they'll take a bird and they'll put like a weight on one of the wings and hold it in a stretch position, and they'll get like very rapid, significant hypertrophy of the stretch muscle. So it's really interesting. And it's not like, I mean, it's gnarly. I want people to know this. This sucks. Like, you get like your quad. I did it this morning. My quad's super pumped. I did I worked out my legs. Then I got on a foam roller under my shins so I could kind of sit back on my heels. And I did 2 minutes sitting there with my quads being pumped. The burn it's almost unbearable. It's nasty.
Well, to me, it really sounds more like it's an isometric tension type stretch. If you're adding load, it's not passive at all. So you're still shuttling, blood and stimulating the muscles to be tense in that position.
Right. You're not resting on a joint. So I feel like it is just an isometric hold.
I agree. I think that's why it builds muscle. So like let's say you work out your chest, for example, and then you're done, and then you want to use this technique. You would grab a pair of light dumbbells, lay in a fly, and allow the dumbbells to come down and really and try to relax. And what you'll find is the dumbbells will fall further and further and further through that minute or 2 minutes. A minute is probably where most people will want to stop, but I've gone as long as 2 and 3 minutes. It is gnarly. Yeah. Then there's some theories around like when a muscle's maximally pumped, stretching it also helps send this kind of muscle fascia stretching signal, which has also been shown to kind of signal muscle growth. One thing that's cool about this is I don't notice any impairments in recovery or damage. So it's like I'm adding something that'll build more muscle, but I don't get like more soreness or more fatigued. If anything, I feel like I recover faster.
I was gonna say I would imagine or theorize that it would accelerate that because you get yourself to relax a little bit when you're all super tight and you're pumped. Now you're going the opposite direction, and then you're relaxing the muscle afterwards. Right?
Yeah, what's weird about it too is like I did this yesterday. I worked out my upper body and I did it at the end of my back workout. So I just kind of hung from a bar and tried to relax and let my lats stretch. So I was like really pumped anyway because I finished my back workout. Then I did this long ass stretch. Then I let go, and like 5 seconds later, the pump is way more intense. It's you get this insane pump after the stretch. So
I'm gonna have to try that.
it's really wild. The only downside I would say is that it adds time to your workout. So you're probably gonna add like 15 minutes to your workout, by doing something like this. But man, and then talk about like improved range of motion for the next workout. You get, now you're not connecting to the range of motion like you would when you're doing like priming necessarily, but it's also not necessarily passive. So,
well, it's a bit how we kind of programmed some ways the cool down process in prime.
That's what we did in prime.
So we had those static stretches to really reinforce positions, especially like end range positions, because we didn't want you to lock up from going through the workouts and being sort of formed into that.
Yeah, dude. But it feels really amazing. I've done this before where I've gone through stints of doing it. And again, the reason why I don't do it consistently is the time factor, because it's adding extra time. But I've modified my workouts recently to reduce the volume to allow for the space to be able to do this. And it blows me away. And I'll keep you guys posted. But I know every time I've done it, I notice like this kind of muscle, building boost from it that is unique from adding exercise or volume, because again, it doesn't take away from my recovery.